Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the Kind of Man at YouTube with another modelling video. Today we'll be doing the second update on my Gunpla Builders World Cup entry. I've got approximately a little less than 2 months to go, but progress is doing very well. I've got some paperwork to get through the mid-year stuff for work, and then I'm going to have a tad more time, but for now things are moving along quite nicely. A couple of announcements. First, entries are open, or the Gunpla Builders World Cup Australia is taking entries via the Smash website. I believe sometime next month submissions are going to be closed. The Gunpla Builders Australia group on Facebook is a very handy tool for this competition and community. A lot of the people who are staff, people in the event, and Ghost to Zion who are very helpful are on hand if you have any questions. I'm also very happy to answer them. So have a look at that website, have a look at Gunpla Builders Australia, and most importantly, Mr. Kawaguchi will be attending. It's been made official through Bandai and his own personal Facebook feed, so it's going to be very interesting to meet him for the first time and seeing him at the event. My preparations are doing quite well. I've got the event tickets, I've been registered, and I'm just about to book accommodation and flight. All I have to do is finish the model. Now, a few weeks ago, all we had was a wooden board, and we have gotten this far. I reckon in the next few weeks it will be finished and detailed, ready for painting. So just to have a look, bird's eye view, we've got a trench going through. I've drew this as one piece, cut it up into many sections, printed them out individually. That was easy for my printer, and stuck them all together. I have had a few half rolls of plastic here and there and used them up. PLA was very easy, caused no problems. The ABS, I bought a couple of cheap $30 rolls, and they gave me some problems. Some of the prints failed, thus you might see there's multicolored bits like this here. It failed halfway, and so I wouldn't throw out the whole piece. I actually redrew the same shape and extruded it to the height that it was missing, and reprinted it. So this is all done. I'm going to get some milliput and fill all the gaps and holes tomorrow or the next day, and then I'm going to start drawing up the debris and ruins around these poles and have destroyed buildings. Now these crevices or holes are going to be filled with just cracked plastic. I've got a whole box of it over there. So I'm not using 3D printer premium plastic to fill these little holes, but they're going to be a bit empty, so you could see that there's like a basement level and it's full of debris, and there's going to be ruined buildings and piles of junk everywhere. So these two will be filled up. That's already filled up, and there's going to be some flat scrap plastic laid across and then built up with putty and other stuff to make ruins and rocks and all sorts of fun things. So a couple of my dioramas, the wing one, which has been seen on Facebook, and the Grimoire base. It's going to be somewhat of that theme, except there is trenches. And that explains the diorama, so in a few weeks that's going to be close to finished and start being painted. Let's look at the models themselves. Now this is the main kit, the Zamel inspired artillery piece mobile suit, which is absolutely massive. You'll see it next to some Zaku's fairly shortly. The whole bottom half is completely done, and I'm pretty happy. I'm working on the torso. That will be all zimmered and detailed up very shortly. The upper body and arm is practically almost finished. A lot of work on this empty platform is going to be the big cannon. Now if we have a look here, these are all the 3D printed parts that are going to be cleaned up. Most of it's had a couple of goes of primer, and this is automotive super thick primer, hand painted on and sanded back. I just need to sand a couple of these pieces, recoat and resand again. Next week they're going to start being assembled, a little detailing. Zimmeriff around the red area, and this guy should be done in a few weeks, ready for painting. So all of the really hard work, so putting him together, the combining of the mobile suit parts, the excess metal work, he sort of looks like a bit of a mobile mountain with the skirt armor all over the place. And then there's going to be the big cannon sitting on that platform sticking out. So he still looks a bit funny, but when he's completely done, he's going to be sort of like a walking turret. And that's the idea in the scheme of things. The next guy is completely built, seam-lined and ready to go is the Thunderbolt Zaku big gun. He's got the big gun, which will be mounted on the diorama, and I'll show how that will be done shortly. I want the big gun mounted in the next few days, and I'm going to start painting it. It's going to have some slight modifications, a little Zimmerit and a tiny bit of detailed glued here and there, but the seam lines still need to be sanded back, so by the end of the week, I want that big gun 100% done. The Zaku itself is going to have a tiny touch of Zimmerit on the shins and shoulder guards. It's going to have a little reactive armor on the chest, skirt and legs, and the rest of it's going to be a bit of tank detailing. It's going to take a couple of days of detailing, but I'll slowly be able to start painting him. He should be near done by the end of the month. The next guy, and just in my spare time at work and other places, I've been putting together this Zaku 1 Sniper. He's going to be the official 5th model, and he's going to be almost head to toe covered in Zimmerit with a little bit of extra markings. Not a lot of work will be done on him this month. He's going to be more of a focus next month when the diorama and the big guy is done and unpainted, and the Zaku big gun and its Zaku is completely painted. He will be the next priority. He'll be easily done in a week or so time, so I'm not overly concerned with him whatsoever. And here it is looking up with the lineup so far. Where's the gap here is going to be the Zaku 1 Sniper kneeling, and ideally I would like to have an F2 out of the box Zaku or two. They will be a very quick put together. I mean, that kit can literally be built and seam line filled in a day and painted in a few more days. To be like this guy, he was painted very, very quickly. And everything else shouldn't take too long. It's going to be a big paint binging session. And again, a few weeks before the event, I'll take some time off and be able to focus it. But at least before that time off, everything needs to be built. And I can just really slam through the painting, weathering, shading, all that sort of stuff. So, you know, I've been putting a few hours in every single day, and literally from 2 weeks ago, where all I had was just 3 kits and a wooden board, things have gotten this far ahead. So wish me luck, and I'm going to keep working quite solidly at it, depending on health and whatnot. And don't forget that these bits here are also a big factor. And the diorama stuff is literally only a handful of hours away, and a lot of the really hard work has been done. The rest of it is just slowly putting things together, just the simple stuff. So 2 months, quite easy. I know some people are just starting their projects, so yeah, we'll keep you all updated weekly or fortnightly. Thank you very much for watching, and as always, until next time, catch you guys next time.